Public hearing and consideration of ordinance number
3938.
3938, amending Title VII, Animals of the Edmond Municipal Code by amending Section 7.09.120, keeping of animals, treatment, outdoor shelters by adding language related to the outdoor temperature and providing for repealer and severability.
Mayor and Council, this particular ordinance is brought to your attention tonight. Kenny Stevenson, our Animal Welfare Supervisor, is here. Our existing municipal code, Title VII, deals with animals, and we have a particular section dealing with the appropriate treatment and outdoor shelter for animals in our community. Kenny brought it to my attention that we needed to make some additions to our existing code to provide for language that shelter for a dog or cat shall consist of a moisture-proof and wind-proof structure and suitable size to accommodate the animal and to allow retention of body heat. Also, dealing with dogs, the animals need to make sure that there's sufficient structures for outdoor dog houses and similar structures to provide an independent source of heat that is safe for use in outdoor structures and does not pose a danger to the animal. The animal's body heat is not a sufficient source when the temperature is below 32 degrees in our city, and a vehicle shall not be considered an adequate shelter and shall be prohibited. And it shall be unlawful and a violation for any person to leave any dog outdoors and unattended for a period of 1/2 hour or longer when the temperature is below 32 degrees. So this language Kenny brought to our attention. Oklahoma City has a similar language, and he's here to answer any questions that you might have.
Very good.
Good evening, Mayor, City Council. Does anybody have any questions? And I'll give a brief description. I'll be really short as far as the reason why I requested this change in the city ordinance. Basically, it came about last year when we had significant increases and had some really significant weather events, Arctic cold fronts that came in, and the temperatures dropped to record-setting levels. And last January, Oklahoma City went to the city council and asked for an emergency order to change their city ordinance, simply based on it can be a little bit of a challenge when the temperatures can be 0 degrees, wind chills minus, negative, snow, ice, and so forth. But they basically requested an emergency order to put that 32 degree hard temperature in the city ordinance to make everything more consistent, to give everybody, as well as like my officers, as well as the community members, basically something that they know as more definitive as far as being able to address those issues when we have to respond to welfare checks as far as that. Also, we kind of also wanted to address as far as the structures in our current city ordinance. It doesn't really address having a heat source or so forth inside that house to be able to protect that animal, one that's safe and that's actually approved to be inside that structure. And that's why we also add for that additional part in the city ordinance. Also, we did have a few instances last year as well as this year where people would use their vehicles that are not operational to place their animals in there in inclement weather, in particular the freezing weather, and that's not suffice because it could not provide any heat source as far as inside that vehicle. So we feel like this is going to be better as far as being consistent with our neighbors, Oklahoma City, Yukon, Mustang, and all those other places that I work with on a regular basis. So that's the reason why. Does somebody have any questions?
So basically, this is just for dogs, but we have other animals that stay outside, and we're not considering those in this.
Under the ordinance, I would say I've been there for 22 years, and primarily the only thing that we've had any issues with has been dogs, as far as any major issues. But livestock and so forth, we haven't had any issues with.
Very good. Council, any questions? Well, thank you very much.
Thank you.
I know I've received some positive comments from citizens that they were glad that this is on the agenda tonight. So, Council, what would you like to do on this one? Well, public hearing. Is there any comments from the audience? Seeing that, Council?
Move to approve.
You have a motion?
Second.
Second, please cast your vote. Item is passed. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Kenny.